about a year ago, but yeah, basically something like this would be really cool. So would love for someone to try build something like this, Hyper 2D. So that's another idea. Go check that out. You can do so many cool things. ERC20 transfers, ERC721 transfers. Yeah, so look at building something like that. Cool. Next thing, check this out. This is actually something I built, which is quite fun. It's called log2e, and it's actually an NPM package, and you can literally try it out in your terminal in one click. It scans the entire monad chain or whatever network, and what it does is it creates a distribution of all the events. So if you deploy a contract, like, I don't know, maybe it's a Aave contract and there's borrows and flash loans and different kinds of events, it will scan the entire contract and see how many of each event is being emitted, which is, often quite interesting to see that, oh, hey, there's like only 10 flash loan swaps, but there are 100,000 borrow events. It's just interesting to see the type of activity that's actually occurring on a contract. So if you want to play around with this example, here it is. It's called log2e. You can see all the GitHub code to give yourselves a head start. If you want to check it out, you can follow me on GitHub. You can play around with it, and you can actually play around with it on Monad. It works. You can run something like this npmx log2e, and you can run Monad testnet. It's enabled for it. Aave Monad testnet or ERC. There's lots of examples over here. So I won't go run the example now, but I'll leave that for you to run. So yeah, have fun running that example chat. Be cool if you ran that and show me the results. So yeah, that's another one. And again, this is a cool CLI and it's built with Hypersync. And yeah, thanks for saying the CLI has killer looks. Appreciate it. You can do this yourselves. This is not hard. We are living in a very blessed day and age where we have something called artificial intelligence that can help us make things look good, and we don't have to spend 10 weeks anymore tweaking UIs and making things look pretty. So yeah, as Jordan says, we are too blessed to stress. So in your hack, AI can be your best friend in helping you make something look slick like this, which is great. Cool. We now have another example. I'm just going to keep hitting you guys with examples because so many of these you could, use as inspiration, extend. These are really just some ideas that you can use to help you. This one's called Snub, and it helps you visualize token approvals. Many of you maybe have heard of something called revoke.cash, and it's kind of like, when you want to trade on a contract, often you have to do this thing where you approve the contract to spend some of the tokens on your behalf. And this sometimes can be obviously pretty dangerous, because if that's a malicious contract or it gets hacked, they could use your approval and basically suck all the tokens from your address, which can be pretty gnarly. So this thing Snub, it basically runs in your terminal. You put in your address and it shows you if you have any outstanding token approvals. Again, this code is open. You can go check it out. As you can see, it's powered by Envio Dev. Another example over there. So yeah, I do. Velikan Ghost is answering. Do you have these examples listed in a doc? That's a good question. I know. I know Jordan is throwing them here. I also have them in the slides, so we will get them to you sometime already, which is great. Baba Yaga, would we build a dashboard from scratch on the session? Yeah, let's try it if we get time. I'd like to build a dashboard this session and show you how to do it. So yeah, stay tuned. We will get there. This next one is, check out this. This is the monorail analytics, and I want to show it to you on the website. And check, you can see a lovely little powered by Envio there, but check in real time, it's showing us all the trades exchanged through PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Kuru, Bean, the total network fees, gas. Yeah, this is really slick. So this is again showing you really cool ideas of real-time front ends, how they look. I love this tick up of the total trades. It's pretty nice. So that's another cool one for you to check out. Cool. Here's another one, NAD Radar. I'm sure you guys know a bit about NAD Radar, but yeah, fun fact, NAD Radar is using basically hypersync under the hood to get information on, yeah, all of these protocols to, yeah, build a nice universe of everything in Monad. So that's another super cool one. So again, very, very keen to show you more and more examples. So that's NAD Radar. Check that out. Land Hub, I think it's I'm not 100% sure. I think it might be using Envio. And this is like showing, I think, the NFT stats on lending. Again, it's pretty cool. You can check it out. Actually, I don't have it open. But yeah, that's another cool one to go check out. Again, this is definitely the coolest Monad challenge, in my opinion. There's like so much cool stuff you can show. Yeah, there's really lots happening. The next one is this Monad real-time transaction dashboard, which is, yeah, I think using Envio. You can check it over here. Built by Santi. Yeah, how cool is this? Literally showing you every single block, the composition of like, is it transfers, mints, deck swaps, creating contracts, other. That's pretty cool, right? I really, really like that. So yeah, there's lots of cool examples. Yeah, so nice work, Santi, on that one. I think that's very cool. And let's go check some more examples. Again, so all of this stuff should be giving you basically a whole lot of inspiration. Like, check how cool this stuff is. And again, as I said, you can do this all fast and for free using Envio to help get you the data, and then you build a cool little front end. So yeah, we've shown a ton of examples. And to be honest, I think there's still more examples to come. Here's another cool example. Maybe Jordan, you can find the tweet and you can post it on the chat. But this is called Oracle Wars, and basically it's showing live Oracle updates in real time. And you could do this for Monad. There's a whole lot of different oracles on Monad, and it would be very cool if you built a dashboard showing all the oracles, posting prices real time and comparing them. I've done a bit of work on this on Oracle Wars, and that's always a slam dunk dashboard. So anyone who wants to do Oracle comparison and analysis on Monad testnet, yeah, go do that. That's going to be a slam dunk. Yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. And let's now go on to another one. Cool, this one's called V4, and I think this one's really cool. What it is showing real-time stats about the Uniswap protocol, and I'd love to see someone actually build something like this for one of the protocols that's already existing on the Monad testnet. And check here, what you're doing is you're seeing all the swaps happening in real time on the protocol, which looks really, really cool. You could actually do something similar even with transactions happening in Monad. But check this out. What I love seeing is every single swap that's happening on Uniswap, check it streamed in here in real time. You can literally see the amount, what token it is from to USDT to Koji or whatever that is. You can also see the new pools that was just created 5 seconds ago. Someone's created a Zora 3.14, whatever that is. But this site is something you can totally build, and I built an MVP of this in literally like a day or two. It's not hard. and I'll give you a suggested tech stack, but you can use Hyperindex as the backend part of Envio. You can use a nice little React front end, and you can deploy it and host it on Vercel. And bonus, you can buy a domain for like literally $2 from GoDaddy and then put it into Vercel. And then you have like your own website, which is hopefully pretty good. So yeah, that's very cool as well. Another example. So go check that out. This also does all kinds of things like liquidity, TVL in real time, hooks. And if you want to see more how to build something like this or try this, you can actually see an example of how I built this website. I put it on YouTube, and it's also got all the GitHub code open source. So that's another cool example. So I think, yeah, okay, no, we actually have more examples. There's about 9 done and 1 to go. This is a block explorer. So this is one of the coolest things I think someone should do. It's actually building a really nice block explorer for Monad, and this is called Scope. And we can actually check Scope out. Scope. Again, all this code's open, and how cool is this? You can see every new block kind of happening in real time, but I'd love for someone to put a little monad there as well. It's super fast, it's super good looking. You can click on all different kinds of contracts, and what's really nice is you can see things really clearly and decoded. Again, this is using hypersync, which means it's got unlimited logs. Everything is like literally blazingly fast. Like things just shouldn't load this fast, but they do, which is great. So yeah, this is another super cool thing, Scope, and I think you could visualize a lot with this and build on top of this and do main monad stuff with this. So yeah, that's another fun one to check out. And here's what I want to talk about. Where should I get some more inspiration? So there's already like 10 projects to give you some inspiration of cool stuff to build. Luckily, the Monad Legends, literally yesterday, I'll show you what this link leads to. They dropped like a list of a whole lot of protocols, which I think makes it even easier, especially if you want to like visualize some specific protocols. It's this GitHub link, and it's called Monad Developers. It's called Protocols over here. And you can see there's this thing called, you can either run it yourself, but there's this protocols.csv, and it was, updated 2 hours ago, so it's pretty fresh. I'll zoom in a bit, but you can see it's got like every single, I guess, protocol and its type, and it's got the address, which is really cool. So you can see where to grab the information from. So yeah, if you want to do, like I was talking earlier about oracles, let's find some oracles. If we wanted to compare oracles, there must be some oracles. Oracle, here we go. I can see band, chainlink, pith, stalk, switchboard, eOracle. Like here's all the addresses, and you could build a dashboard showing oracles, for example, which is cool. So yeah, there's lots of stuff here. I think Pradeep's saying, so the UI is going to be most important. I think the UI is a big component, to be honest. The UI is like the cover of the book, and if something looks good, it feels good. So it is quite good, but remember, yeah, I'll post the GitHub link now. Remember, in this day and age of AI, it's easy to it's easy to make your front ends look good. So don't stress too much about looking good. It's one of the most important parts, but it's not one of the hardest parts. Normally, one of the hardest parts is getting the data you care about. Thankfully, yeah, with Envio, that can be quite easy, which is great. But yeah, cool. I'm seeing if there's any more questions. Keep all the questions coming. So yeah, that's a little bit of inspiration where you can find it. I'm going to go back to the slideshow. And we're going to get into building in a second, but like a possible tech stack that I used for, say, that V4 is using Shad CN, what's it called? Yeah, Shad CN UI, a set of beautifully designed and accessible components. I often just like kind of create my front end from here, this framework. I'll share the link now. Templates. You can see in templates over here, PNPM DLX, Shad CN latest in it. This gives you like a beautiful front end, yeah, to start off with. So I would use this, and then you can deploy and host that front end on something like Vercel, which is great, and have a beautiful dashboard. And you can make requests to your hyperindex backend to get the data you care about and visualize it. That's like exactly, for example, what this site is doing. And like here, if I click on it, I can see all the pools. I can see all the real-time swaps. So yeah, that's like a possible tech stack you might want to go with. Coming back to what Envio is, I just showed you like 10 examples, and some of them are using hyperindex, some are using hypersync. Depending on what you're wanting to do, you might want to use one or the other, or maybe both, but probably just one or the other. Hyperindex is a very fast indexer, and you probably want to use this if you want to analyze a few protocols, and it's hosted for you. And what that means is if I go onto the Envio website, these are all people who are deploying indexes on Envio, and you can go look at an indexer like this one from Fastlane Labs or whatever it might be, and you can see it's indexing monad testnet, all the events processed, and then you can get an endpoint and make requests, and you can populate your data. So that's kind of what you would use hyperindex for. And then hypersync is a very fast data API. It's more raw, flexible. You want to analyze transactions, blocks, logs, etc. So if you were doing something more like this, you would be using hypersync. Or if you were doing this log2e, you would be using hypersync. But if you were doing V4, you would be using hyperindex. And I think Monorail, I think they're using hyperindex. So yeah, it's a mix of both, right? Yeah, this I showed you already. This is what Envio's hosted service looks like. You can create an index and deploy it, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just kind of hit an endpoint and you get all the data. Super quick. Why Envio TLDR? It's fast. I'm not going to shill too much. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of cool things built with it. There's some benchmarks that, yeah, we didn't actually create this. Someone else went and didn't create this, but you can see hypersync and hyperindex was faster than anything else on lots of different cases by a long way, but I'm not going to, go into that too much. There's lots of cool feedback. Here's some resources and links, and we're about to get into some actual building, which is cool. Follow me on Twitter, follow Envio on Twitter. Yeah, our docs are pretty goated, I want to say. I'm actually just going to go show you our docs for a second because they're really cool. We've got hyperindex docs and hypersync docs. So you can check both of them out. And there's like some points here on when you should use hyperindex or hypersync. You can even ask AI a bit, like if you get stuck with some things in the docs. So go check that out. And then did I have one more slide? I think I did. It was just this. I don't actually know why I had this slide in. I think I'm confusing myself. Seems like the side is appropriate. Yeah, this is on. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I love that slide. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So anyways, back from that great slide, these are some clients. I won't go into it. Those are examples. This is what it looks like. Let's just go straight into actually doing some more stuff. I just want to see, did I miss anything else? We've got these cool stats, these cool stats. Oh, this is another cool example. I didn't have it in my slideshow. It looks like it's visualizing transactions, and it might be from multiple different chains. So you could always do a visualizer that visualizes monad transactions versus other chains, because we do have data from other chains. So that's just an idea. There's that one, there's that one. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. Mad radar. Okay, yeah, that's all done. Let me stop sharing that, and let me now show you how to actually now go ahead and do some of this indexing, and let's do it from scratch. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to go ahead and actually I'm going to ask, can someone give me an ERC20 token address that they think we should index and create a little dashboard around? Let me know who's got one. Yo, pretty pilot. That was like super quick. You must have had that on the clipboard. I don't think I've ever seen anyone paste one so quick. Which one? Which one is this? Tell us, Pradeep. Is it a good one? No, not an address. I want an actual ERC20 token, like I don't know, like a Mondelac or a USDC or a wrapped something like. Yeah, what you shared with me, I think, was an account. Chog token. Okay, that one's got a name, so I think I might go with Chog token from Kadzuvik. Thank you there, boss. So I'm going to take that address, and now I'm going to start sharing another screen. So hold on. Make selection. Share this window. Can everyone see here? So I'm starting with this blank terminal, and I'm going to run this command Envio in it, and this is all in the doc, so don't worry too much about it. But I'm going to call it Chog. I'm going to specify a folder where I'm going to index. Always just choose TypeScript. I'm going to choose the blockchain ecosystem, contract import, and I'm going to import it from a local ABI. Now I have this ERC20 ABI, and now it's going to ask what events I care about. So when a blockchain contract, someone does some activity on it and calls a function, often they emit these things called events telling you like what's happened, like a transfer happened. And I'm just going to maybe care about the transfers. That's all I want to index. And I'm going to choose monad testnet. I'm going to call this chog as the name of the contract. And the address of the contract, thank you very much. That's what it was. And I'm just going to say I'm finished. And I'm going to skip this for now. So all I've done is the simple flow. I'm doing everything from scratch now. Bang, and it tells me just cd into chog and start the indexer. So I'm going to cd into chog and let me run. I'm just going to run this command stop in case I had an indexer running anywhere else, which I didn't. And now I'm going to run this command pnpm envio dev. So everything I've done here, I've done from scratch. What it's doing is it's now running my indexer, and yo, check it that. Can confirm, nice and fast. So what we have happening over there is Envio is helping you scan through the entire monad testnet and get every chog transfer event, so we can start to build an interesting chog dashboard, which I think will be quite nice and cool. Those of you who don't know, this is really, really fast. We've already scanned and got more than 300,000 of these transfers. You can see it's probably going to maybe take about 6 or 7 minutes, but generally, yeah, other frameworks or simply relying on an RPC, this would probably take you days to get all of this data. There's also this cool thing called this Envio Dev Console, and I actually want to, yeah, it's from Block Zero, exactly. blazingly fast. So I'm going to just actually get up this dev console and show you what it is. Envio dev/console. Right. So give me a second. I'm going to start sharing something else now. Stop streaming. And I'm going to start streaming again. Let's share this window. Cool. So this is just a local dev console you can pull up while you develop an index, and it actually shows you how many events you're processing per second, etc. All of these cool things. You can also click on this Hasura button, and we can actually look at all of the data locally. And what I'm showing you is kind of the back end part. And I want to say now, let's say on our CHOG dashboard, we want to show the biggest CHOG transfers, like who's been sending the most CHOG. How on earth would we actually even do that and show that on our front end? So we'd actually do that by creating a query. Now in our data, I'm just going to zoom in a bit so you can see. We have every single CHOG transfer in our data. The from, the to, the ID, the value, we have all of this stuff. Now we want to see the biggest ones and we want to put it on our front end. So we would look for CHOG transfers. Let's just say we want the top 10 and we want to order it by value, like descending, because we want the biggest CHOG transfers and we want to know who is it from, who is it to, and how much did this person send. And this is basically your GraphQL query. You hit this play button and just like that, your data is returned of the 10 biggest CHOG transfers, right? So we right now are just running this locally, and if we made this query to this local endpoint, this query to this local endpoint, we get this result. And then when you have this data, you now can go and put up your shad CN or whatever it is front end, and you could use Cursor to help you or something like that. And then your front end is making these GraphQL queries to an endpoint and doing things like this. And just like that, you could create a CHOG transfer leaderboard. What are the biggest CHOG transfers, right? So that's kind of how you would be doing something like this. So hopefully that is quite illuminating if you're just thinking, how on earth do I even get going and start building some kind of dashboard? So yeah, that's how it would look like. And yeah, I guess we can ask, does anyone think we should try and actually build that dashboard? Or should we go on and show some hypersync examples? Yes, please. Ship it. Yes. Okay, I think we're going to have to give the crowd what they want and try ship it. If it meets the specs, then let's ship it. Okay, give me a second. CD code. I'm just going to go in here and start sharing another screen with you. So give me a second. Go on with hypersync, Pradeep says. Is Envio free? Yep, you can use it for free. For this session, we have always free tiers, development, etc. You can also go and actually, this is something I really want to ask everyone to go do. We would really appreciate a star on GitHub. Jordan, can you drop the hyperindex repo on the chat? Yeah, we really, really love some GitHub stars. Peperazzi, you can go check out the repo of hyperindex. Okay, I'm going to first go on and show you hypersync, and then if we have time, we'll build the front end. The front end anyone can do. I'll just put it in the chat. To be honest, all you need to do is download something like Cursor, which is an AI code editor kind of, and you can just prompt it and say something like, make GraphQL query like this to XYZ endpoint and visualize it for me. And this you can do in like a shared CN repo. There we go. I kind of said in chat what you can do, and you can build a front end. And then you can deploy to Vercel and buy a $1 domain, and then you can win Mon, and then you can celebrate, dance, do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, before you celebrate, Jordan dropped the link. I'm going to star it again. Please go give us some stars on the hyperindex repo. More dance, more stars. And now I'm going to show you some more coding examples, because why not? Again, you can go check the code out. Nice, cool. So this is another repo that's available online, and you can go check it. It's called Hypersync Quick Start, and it just shows you a bunch of scripts on how to use Hypersync. So if you want to use Python or JavaScript or Rust, you can use these Hypersync clients and run little scripts of code. And this one, you can see it's super simple. What I'm doing is I'm actually creating a Monad testnet endpoint, and I'm just actually taking all of these Uniswap v3 events, and I won't go through it too much right now, but I'm constructing a query. It's very flexible. So you can construct a query and say, I want to filter for various logs or transactions or whatever it might be. And I want a certain data returned. I want block data, log data, transaction data. This is the most flexible. You can build really, really cool stuff with this. And if I run this node run simple, it will start sort of the scan, and you can see it's going through the entire monad chain, and it's scanning through all the blocks, and it's finding a whole lot of events. And that's kind of what it's doing. So Hypersync is all about constructing these queries that are super flexible. Again, you can filter for all kinds of things, topics, logs, transactions. You can get all kind of data back, and it's really fast to get it. And you can see I have this script here called run2e.js. Check it out, just a couple hundred lines. Again, this is on the Monad testnet, and again, you can see this code. And check what happens if I run this. This is called run node run 2e.js. Here we go. It scans and it actually shows everything. So if you want to see all the code and how to create something that looks cool in the terminal, and scans the entire monad chain, there we go. If I zoom out one, you can see the progress of where it's scanning on monad testnet, scanning all the way. Oh, scan, show us everything that's happening. You can see all of the code over there, which is super nice. Cool. Yeah, Pepperazzi is asking, can Envio handle complex queries, or does it still need users' input in order to create connections? I'm not sure I understand how those two things relate, but yeah, Hypersync does do super complex queries if you like. Rescript port, don't worry, you don't have to use Rescript. Rescript is like a better version of TypeScript almost, but you don't have to worry too much about that. Santi is Hypersync is I would say real time, so it's up to date, and you can check it out, and you can use it to show things real time, which is cool. TypeScript from 2036, exactly. Yeah, so that's a little bit about Hypersync. So I'm going to show you now just quickly in the docs, just so you know where to get started. We've shown you now a lot of cool examples, which is very nice. And yeah, Santi, the sync is very fast. That's why we recommend people use it. You can scan the entire 20 million monad blocks literally in sub-second if there isn't dense information for an address. Like if you wanted to go, if you have your own personal address and it's only got like 1,000 transactions, you could literally go find all of those 1,000 transactions in just a few seconds. All right. Now let's go and show you, what was I going to show you? The docs. Super quick. And actually now, chat, can you start spamming any questions or Q&A? Because I've shown a lot of the good stuff. So I think it's now time for everyone to just start chiming in and giving their 2 cents. And that should be where we take it from now. Cool. Share this window. So again, docs.envio.dev is one of your main entry points. Hyperindex, you can check it out. It shows you how to quick start and get going. It's super simple. There's even some YouTube videos, which is great. It shows you the basics. There's this Uniswap v4 DEX example, which is cool. You can go check it out. I showed you that. There's all of the questions. There's some tutorials. Yeah, there's lots going on there. Then there's the hypersync docs too. Super fast. And yeah, there's a quick start. I just literally showed you the quick start. There's this quick start repo. Clone it, play around with it. You can run these examples like you can see over here, which is great. You can understand like how to make queries and how to process the results. There's lots of things about that over here. You can even make curl requests if you want. For fun little proof of concepts, like get all the ERC20 transfers for an address. I'm going to even just copy this. If we just change this to monad-testnet, this is for Ethereum, you can put in your address over here and here, and it will get all the transactions to and from your address if you run this in your terminal. So like that's an example of like just a call request. Bang, you can run straight up. Okay, now I'm looking again at the chat. Sorry, chat. Port just did a joke. Sorry, Port, missed your joke. Pepperazzi, I'm not sure what you're asking, but please explore it. If you need to get any data unrestricted, fast, real time, it's great. Yeah, good vibe code front end. I like it. Can we get a link of the slides? I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Would that be helpful? If you guys all star the GitHub repo, and maybe we can give some slides out. What other questions we have? Does Envio work with AI tools? Yeah, it does. Use it to help you out. Something like Cursor, super helpful. Help you get going, which is nice. And let me just quickly run through everything one last time. So again, you have till the 18th of June. There's prizes. You want to make a real-time dashboard. It's things like chain density, Hyper 2E, Log 2E. There's Snub. There's monorail stats. There's NAD radar. There's Lend Hub. Monad real-time transaction dashboard, Oracle Wars, there's V4, there's Scope Block Explorers. There's loads of inspiration to get from GitHub. Tech stack, do as you please. Hypersync, hyperindex, lots of ways to get the data you care about. Deploy it for free onto Envio. Why Envio? It's fast. Lots of good feedback. Join our Discord, follow us on Twitter, or tag us on the Discord here and we'll help out. You can follow us on Twitter. That slide, I don't remember why I put that in. but I have that slide there, which was great. Um, you can follow me on Twitter. I actually don't know how to share my link. I think that might be it. If you want to see some of the stuff I've been building and playing around with. And yeah, I think if there's no more questions, I'll give everyone like a minute or two for some more questions. Then we'll rock and roll from there. Thanks, Port and Geordie. I think that's the first one Jordan's beat you to, Port. Otherwise, you've been smashing him with the links all day. So
Yeah.
well done on that.
So he was just faster than me for once, right? So Jordan loses and I win. Yeah. So yeah, that was fantastic, John. And the examples that the Envy team has built, they are like 10 out of 10. And the CLI tools actually are, I think they look more beautiful than any front end. So for this mission, I think we can allow like CLIs as well because they are. Can they be considered front ends because you're
Yes,
doing
I think
something
so.
in the
Yeah,
end?
I think in this case, if you build this cool CLI, I think people could win this prize for sure.
Hell yeah! So yeah, the crowd, we have like 50 people right now. If you have listened to this workshop closely, the task is to take this weekend in which you would actually touch grass, but like don't touch grass this weekend. You should go and build some visualizers with Envio, which is pretty easy. I mean, like even for me, if I like went to the Envia docs and like spent almost 3 minutes there, I could just spin up an example, right? I have
Yeah,
cursor and pins, and also VS Code has some free AI stuff. And if you're a student, I think it has some better tiers. So hey, just go and try building things out. And if it doesn't work, we are free and we are very encouraged to tag John and Jordan in the mission channel and ask them questions. So yep, that's it. Thank you, John, for
perfect.
to come in here, taking the time to teach us how to use Envio. And the more I look at Envio, the cooler it becomes. I haven't seen Rescript before, and I was just reading the documentation of it, and I think it's pretty cool. And they're also shouting out Envio for using Rescript. And well, I think I'm gonna do something in Rescript because that's like TypeScript, but even stricter, right? And stricter by default.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's great. It's yeah, some people love it, some don't love it, but it's really powerful.
Wow. We should definitely do a little session on how Envio itself is implemented someday. I would love to
Sure.
see the inner workings and like how you are actually able to get this much of a performance out of a tool. Like, why is
Yeah,
it so?
anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's plan that.
why it's so fast? Yeah, I'll give you the TLDR, but
Hmm.
yeah, very quickly. It's because the index is using hypersync, and we're bypassing a lot of the limitations that there would normally exist using an RPC to request data. Like if you send a get logs request to an RPC, you're transporting it over HTTPS. There's only various filtering you can do, etc. But we've kind of rebuilt that data layer from the ground up in Hypersync to um, basically provide maximum speed and flexibility so that you can, yeah, index the data hundreds of times faster. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening, seeing a lot of love in chat. Hugely appreciate you yeah, sticking around and listening. It's made my Friday afternoon a really good one. So yeah, super happy to end on this note. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend building. As Port said, no sleep, no grass. Let's build. Tag us, especially tag Jordan if it's late at night or on Sunday. He's always
Yeah,
up. And yeah, appreciate it.
yeah. Let's tag the Envio people like every hour, at least like 3 or 4 times a day, just to disturb them and ask them questions. Yeah, let's do that. Let's build stuff. And thank you all for coming, especially the MVO folks, John and Jordan. And see you all in the trenches. Goodbye.
Bye. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.
Cheers.